Do you feel the vibes?
Yo, GNT family. We are back officially back at it during this fantastic month of Men's Health Month. It's time for us to get into the mental health part, to get into the physical health part, but that's not what the conversation is going to be about today. It's finals and the final. Two teams made it to the finals. One team that should have made it to the finals got their coach fired. Let's talk about it. Yeah. We're right back at it one more time. Thank you, one and all, for joining us on episode 93. Episode 93. Boys, we made it. Episode 93. We almost at that bean. But hey, look, I'm not on the show by myself. Tone the promoter. What you got for us, partner?
Yo, what's going on, GNT Sports World, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode, like my man said, episode 93. We definitely climbing the chart. On our way to the Beanie Siegel, man. Let's get it. But before we get things started, man, I want to send a special shout out to one of our youngest fans, man, 9-year-old Kane Christopher Body, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a fan of GNT Sports Talk, man. We salute you, young brother. Thank you. Let's get it.
Thank you, bro. And all the way on vacation, Bird Gang in the building.
Hey, yo, what's going on? Episode 93. Already know I had to rock the Phillies head because that was one of my favorite teams, the 93 Phils. But listen, nevertheless, we here. Let's get it. Already know.
Absolutely. First things first, Joel, I just want to say thank you. One, for not having a matching shirt like Tone. I appreciate you. You know, I actually show up ready, and y'all guys decide to not match up at all. But I'm sure it's because yours on vacation. So I'm not going to go ahead and go all that crazy. It's cool. If you're not even going to talk about what y'all was going to plan on doing too, just to hurt my feelings. We gonna talk about that.
This week was gonna be planned, but we with a little scheduling conflict, I couldn't get to getting the shirt pressed up. But you would have been butthurt for sure.
Whoa, that was kind of crazy. But
I guess he's segueing into one of our topics.
Right into that topic. A little unnecessary rectal and what was it? Hernia checks by the doc.
And not Dr. J either.
Yeah, lost the word. No mas. He said no mas. No mas.
He can't even talk right now. What's up, man?
I can't. More about in that conversation.
Oh man!
Big money 215s. That Bird Gang in the building.
Yo, what up?
What's up?
Got
they
Jacob
all
Bird.
They all hopped on. They all hopped
what
on.
They all
yeah.
Pool hopped on.
Hey, so no. I'm glad they hopped on. So look, the reason why we out here, listen, is a vacation. I guess you could call it that. It's more a celebration. So look, shout out to my guy, my youngest. He turned 18. He graduated from high school.
Okay.
But look, like it's like, look, it's like, all right, cool. That's a milestone. Celebrate him. But I'm gonna give you a little history. I'm gonna put him out there a little bit. So this young man, which happens to be my youngest son, and I'm gonna highlight him for a minute. So look, when he was graduating from 8th grade, that's when COVID hit. So COVID hit, he graduated, but then he started doing the whole homeschool situation. So I know there's a few parents and kids out there that's been in this situation. Since COVID, my youngest been homeschooled. and he got through all high school doing the homeschooling program, and he graduated this past Saturday. He opted out not going to the ceremony because obviously it's online and all that stuff, so he really didn't know anybody. So that's the reason why we out here. We celebrating my son graduating from high school, and also my grandson just turned 4. So you already know, Bird Gang out here. We had to do it big and stuff like that. But really, just highlighting my son and giving him a shout out because not only, I know when I was in high school, I didn't even want to go, but he got through it on his own. High school, homeschooling, because COVID hit. After that, he never even went back. Got it done, and now he's contemplating joining the U.S. military, the Army, and fighting for our country. And hopefully, if that's what he decides to do, I bless him, give him my blessing. And look, man, I can't ask for anything more. 3 up, 3 down, 18, all graduate. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. I'm out. No, but yeah, man. Shout out to Xavier. That's my youngest. Y'all met him.
Absolutely.
Man, he came to Dimensions a couple of times for our events, and man, I can't be even more prouder than these guys, man. My kids, that's my life right there, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Congratulations, X. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
like you said, graduating high school, man. Definitely a major, major feat, you know what I mean, in life, man. And then for your endeavors, what you got going on after that, you know what I'm saying, Army, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that you tap into, man. That's what's up. Appreciate it, man. You know what I mean? Thorough young boy, man. All your sons, man, you know what I'm saying? Some thorough young boys, man. And that's what's up, man. You know what I mean? You got a good leader, you know what I'm saying, and you, Joe, you know what I mean, showing them the way, showing them the right way, you know what I'm saying, keeping them up out them streets, you know what I'm saying, and, becoming men, young men, positive, productive men, you know what I'm saying, in this world, man. Definitely commend you, for being the father that you are in a life every day. You know what I'm saying? That's why you could come on here and say you got 3 up and 3 down, you know what I'm saying, as far as, guiding them through life, getting them graduating. And so salute to you, man, too, you know what I'm saying, for doing your thing, man. Shout out, happy birthday to your grandson, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He out there, what I mean, doing his thing. And he looking up to y'all, you know what I'm saying what, what I mean, the kings of the Santiago family, you know what I'm saying, carrying, man. So salute to you, good brother. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you.
Nah, I appreciate that, man. It's been tough, man. Like I ain't even gonna hold you. Like it look easy, but you guys know, man. Like that's why we all get along. All my friends in my circles are fathers that are there for their kids and stuff like that. And no matter what the circumstances is, whether you with the mom, you're not with the mom, or whatever the case may be, like everybody that I say is my friend and I bang with, like I know they true to theirs, and they step up and do what needs to be done. But man, I look, man, it was like a bittersweet thing because I'm like, damn, he turned 18, graduated, is a wrap. But I got the young boy, little 4-year-old grandpup getting groomed.
Yo, and they all are like you, which really show, in all honesty, the influence that you have in your family. You know what I mean? They're like you. And I
That's
love
not
every
by
bit of it.
design.
I
I
know.
was trying to tell them to be the opposite.
uh, no,
No,
but no, for real. No, congratulations, X. I mean, we all know that COVID year, for any parent that's out there, the COVID year was rough for all of our kids. You know what I mean? And I mean, a whole new way of life that you had to kind of adapt to. So, congratulations to him to make it through that, that hurdle and still be able to go ahead and graduate on time. That's a whole different conversation too. There's so many kids that fell off, you know what I mean, and didn't get back on track. So congratulations to him. I mean, that's not a small feat, especially being able to graduate, like I said, on time, knowing that you graduated from home and what have you. I mean, that's not an easy thing. And
yeah.
yeah,
And also, before I forget, my bad.
yeah, good,
Not
thank you.
that I forgot, because obviously he's here as well. But my nephew Isaiah, he also graduated. And he's here with us celebrating. We celebrate him. You know what I mean? Like, look, no man left behind. Like you accomplished a big thing. We out here celebrating both of them. They cut their cake earlier, a little ice cream cake we had, both of their names. So shout out to my nephew Isaiah as well.
Shouts out, Zay. Congratulations, bro.
I do see it. Hello to you.
Hello,
That's
Princess.
from
What's up, Princess
IG.
Rivera? What that say, Princess Rivera?
That's what it says.
Hello.
Princess Rivera, hello back to you. Right there on the IG. First lady in the building on IG as well. She said that that's major. Everything you talked about when it comes to your son, man. And she also said that that is awesome. So just
Yeah.
know what's going on. Yeah, much love.
Appreciate you.
All right, so look, since we talk about the celebration and stuff, it's time to talk about what's going on right here. We got Pacers versus OKC. Now it's time to talk about it. And talk about after we talk about this, we want to talk about the after effects of what happened or why is OKC versus Pacers when it comes to the next. But let's talk about this series and kind of like dive into it. What are you looking forward to when it comes to this series and how it's going to play out?
Well, just like any championship series, man, on any sports, genre that it is, man, you want to just see a good finals. You know what I mean? You want to see a competitive finals. I ain't saying it got to go 7 games, but you want to see every game, competed at a very well pace. I don't want to see no blowouts. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see none of that corny stuff. Referees getting involved. Just a good, what I mean, decent, grind out series. OKC, they have been showing you that they've been the best team all year. You know what I mean? So they've gotten to this point. So now it's time to prove that, what I mean, being the best team. And of course we gotta I don't want to say a sneaky, what I'm saying, or underrated Indiana Pacers team, but a team that maybe obviously going into the playoffs. I'm not sure if they took a poll or if we ever discussed it. You know what I mean? Them making the finals. So they went on a crazy tear. It was once Halliburton, was called underrated. You know what I mean? It seemed like it fueled not only him but the rest of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And they just came together, pause, and really put together a decent run, in this playoffs. And that's why they're in the finals, representing the Eastern Conference, man. So I'm just excited, you know what I mean, to see two different teams, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we want to see the big markets, in the games, and it draws a lot more, fans, and things like that. Because even with the Western Conference Finals, for the first time in 29 years, they said it was nobody from the state of California or Texas. So I'm like, damn, for 29 straight seasons, there were either a representative, one of the two teams were either from the state of California or the state of Texas. And I'm like, wow, that's to let you know that how them teams that's in there was probably a total of 6, 7 teams that's been dominant or that's just been relevant to be representing the Western Conference in the Western Conference Finals zone for those amount of years. So, hey, if it's small market teams that getting in there, man, hey, so be it. It has to be changed, man. Change is good. You know what I mean? You know how a lot of teams hate like the New England Patriots. A lot of teams hate the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of teams hate Pittsburgh Steelers because they won, and it's just like we want to see somebody different. You got OKC, you got Indiana Pacers. That's somebody different. But then you're gonna get the naysayers. I don't want to see that. That's going. Oh, we don't want to see that finals. Who represents? Okay. You know any OKC fans? You know any Pacers fans? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't. But you know what I'm saying. I get that. You know what I'm saying. But at the same time, you do want to see something different. And I'm excited, man. I just want to see a good series.
Anything to add, Bird Gang?
No, listen, I'm excited for the finals. I'm sitting here trying to figure out these player props. Personally, that's what we over here discussing. But no, look, it looks like we're finally turning the page, on those old legends that we used to being in these finals and going to the SGAs, the Halliburtons, and these younger guys and passing the torch. But I mean, like Tone said, it was like 20 something years that the finals representative hasn't been out of Texas or, out of the state of California. But even more so, these two teams are over 40 years and even appearing in the finals and getting the championship. So it's going to be good to see a new face, new teams, and all that stuff. And something that I know we talked about it a little bit last week where we all picked OKC. But another motivating factor that we didn't talk about that should, play a little bit of a factor is the coach from the Pacers was actually the coach from OKC. So that's another little nugget that to add to the fuel to the fire, however you want to call it, to see if Rick Carlisle could get get that back, get back on the team that he coached before, and I'm sure he's looking forward to that revenge. So let's see what happens.
Got Ty says OKC in 6. So what I actually like, and I'm kind of rooting for OKC. I think we talked about this last week too. Going to be kind of rooting for OKC. I find it funny that if you was to think about the Thunder, especially the history of the Thunder, we thought that championship was going to be through Durant. You know what I mean? And when that didn't happen, we was like, well, I guess Thunder's never going to win the championship. And now, long all this time, now all of a sudden you got an MVP, and now they're the favorites to win the championship. I mean, it goes to show just with patience and good planning, how they can go ahead and really change the whole entire team franchise around.
Right, and he'll be actually the fourth, if they win, the fourth MVP to actually win the MVP during the season and make it all the way through and win the championship. It's only been done 3 times in the NBA history. So hopefully he can accomplish that. That'll be a huge accolade, and I think everyone would agree from that point on. Obviously, he'll more than likely get the Finals MVP as well, but we'll probably all be in agreement that he is the new face of the NBA after that point.
Yeah, because that makes me think about, Ant Edwards now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was
Yeah.
and him losing, the Western Conference Finals, man, again, he's getting grinded up because of the way he, exited his interviews. He talking about he's young, he's 23. He just think he has a lot of time left
Right.
to, win. Um, I seen Udonis Haslam, man. He was like when we won our first championship in 2006. He was like me and Dwayne Wade was in the locker room. We were celebrating, and he was like, we just looked at each other like, oh man, it's gonna be fun. Like this gonna be fun to do this for the amount of time that they thought they were going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, they didn't reach the finals again until obviously LeBron and the big three and everything came. So he was just like, yo, young fella. He was like, take it from the OG, man. He's like, this stuff is don't take it for granted, man, because you get some guys you might make it there early in your career. Let's take Iverson for instance, man. You know what I'm saying? He made it 5 years into his career and ain't never see the championship again, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what's up with these mind frame of these new guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they be very, very talented. They be very, very good. You know what I mean? But the thought process or the way they just go about things is totally the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, hey, unless you go ahead out here and go get a number one top tier, well, I'm gonna say number two because you're the number one, but the number 1A, 1B type guy, to go along with you, bro, it might be over for you. And we already see what OKC doing, and they still got draft picks, in their back pocket, what I'm saying, that they can add to this team. So, um, shouts out to SGA, man, because like you said, Joe, yeah, he's definitely ready to, take the face of the league if they win. And hey, man, they the heavy favorite. I think 84%. But hey, man, it's always been people shocking the world. You know what I mean? It's always been that thing out there. So I'm not discrediting them. I'm not going to count Indiana out. Tyrese Halliburton, man, if
Right.
they were to win, you know what I'm saying? He's stamping his name, what I'm saying, up there as one of the top players, what I'm saying, in this league to carry. And that young nucleus in Indiana, man, I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it, man. So they might be somebody to rock with too, man. You know what I mean? Both of these teams that's in it, the losing team, they gonna be right there again next year. So, what I mean? Sky's the limit for both of these two teams.
Look, what adversity did Ant actually go through yet? Besides, actually, coming up short, balls, in his games. You know what I mean? Like, but look at the MVP. Look at all the adversity that he went through. You know what I mean? He had the battle going from one team being traded to another. I mean, he had to go through a lot to just make the name that he that he has now, and to be the player that he is right now. You could tell my man went to the lab every single summer to add something to his game, because he wanted to make sure that he was going to be or going to have stability where he was, and he found a home in OKC. But in actuality, I mean, the hunger that you see that our good old MVP have now, and I don't see that from Ant. I mean, you don't see that from a lot of these other young players that think that they have it for that. No matter what, I'm young, blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure Zion said the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll go ahead and I get in shape. I'm young. I blah 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 blah. Next thing you know, he's 6 years in the league and didn't do anything and have no consistency at all. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tone. I know you want to say something.
It was a point I was going to make after something, but no, I forgot. It slipped. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, just to add to what you said, Larry. I mean, with SGA too, man. I mean, I think it's very nice that his game has transitioned into the playoffs. I mean, he's been averaging over 30, or close to 30
Mm-hmm.
on, through that playoffs. And the one thing about Ant, like he did what he was supposed to do. He went through two teams that had injuries to get to the finals, you know what I mean? And then he couldn't pull through. You know what I mean? So it's one of them things that, like I think he's doing it and he's very humble about it. Like, I mean, he got the MVP. He bought his whole team Rolexes. Like, because he's like, look, I couldn't have won this, without you guys. You know what I mean? And then not only that, but everybody on his team actually averaged more than they did last year. So it wasn't like a diluted stat where his stats went up and some of the players around them went down. So that was another interesting fact with all the numbers and the stats that came out, where not only he got better, but he also made his team better. That's
Right.
a true definition of an MVP and well deserved. And I don't see, again, just like Tosin, I'm not discrediting the Pacers or anything like that. I just
Damn.
think these guys are on another level. The defense, the bench, and just the momentum they got. I mean, I just think everything's aligning up for OKC. But, there's still that 10-15% chance that the Pacers can shock the world and pull it off, because they're not too far behind. But I think
Right.
they're a little bit more than they could chew, with this OKC team.
It's good to know that the number one team throughout the whole entire season is actually in the finals.
Right.
It feels
Right.
like it don't happen too often. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right.
it's good to know that the best team in the league deserves to be where they at right now. There was no, it wasn't fake. No, they were the best team in the year, and they showed up, and then now that they're in the finals. So, game one is officially tomorrow, starting at 8:30. It's going to be a good series. I'm looking forward to a good series. I am, and I'm hoping to see. Well, no matter what, we're going to see a new champion. So that's going to be a good thing. But I'm hoping to see that either one of them continue a new legacy. That's going to be good for the league.
Yeah, and that's this will be the seventh consecutive champion that is a different team. First time in a long time for the NBA where you had that long of a stretch where it's always a different team. That just shows how competitive the NBA
The
is
league is good.
and
Yep.
how teams aren't really, I don't even want to say teams aren't consistent, but I mean, one thing, the first thing that has to happen, your team has to be healthy. And then you got to have that momentum heading into the playoffs. So it just shows, any team next year can be right back in it.
Yeah, man.
There you go. So, like I said, tomorrow starts the series. Tomorrow, 8:30, Pacers versus OKC. And when that game starts, this man right here is looking for a new job. Now, we know that good old come on, light. Stupid timer. All right. We already know that man is like an old school coach. All right. One that would still tell all of his players to run laps up the gym stairs and back. Like old school coach. But here's a question. Do y'all guys believe that he deserved to get fired?
Not at all. Not at all.
Just like that. That's it.
Oh, I know if you just asking that question and wanted us to answer it, but
Oh no, you
no,
can dive into it.
no, not at all. Listen, man, what? Multiple 50-win seasons, back to back 50-win seasons for them since like the mid 90s. They ain't been in a Eastern Conference Finals in forever. You know what I mean? I don't know why they panic so much. Like why they panic so fast, I should say. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? As far as like needing to do something. You know what I mean? Like you that mad that you lost to Indiana? Like something just needed to happen. Like okay, there's whispers that Mikal Bridges didn't like his coaching, style or whatever. But like you got, they said that the only reason Jalen Brunson was there was because of Rick Brunson and the relationship that he had with Tibbs. So that's the only reason that Jalen Brunson was in New York. You know what I mean? So without that connection, there'd be no Jalen Brown there. Jalen Brunson, who's their best player? You know what I mean? Like I seen Josh Hart put out a little heartfelt message, about it today. Like, what I mean, forever blessed to have him as a coach. Like, hey man, these are grown men, what I'm saying? That obviously, what I'm saying, don't like a coaching style that a coach, even though whether it's old school, new school, whatever you want to be at, these guys being soft, like, nah, man, they paying y'all 30, 40, $50 million a year. I mean, listen to these guys. Like I said, that franchise ain't did nothing but been on, an upscale since Tibbs got there. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that we questioned, obviously, what I'm saying, on the previous shows was the way he was utilizing Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we ever got on here and said, oh, Tibbs doing a horrible job, what I'm saying, in New York or, what I'm saying, with that team. He's actually made them competitive, what I'm saying, for the past couple seasons. He's had 24 playoff wins in his tenure there. The coaches, they show coaches from like 2012 up until him. The only other coach that has a playoff win is the boy Mike Woodson, and he has 7 of them. Everybody else didn't win a playoff game. Like in their tenure, Larry Brown, Isaiah Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it don't make sense on why they fired him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just pretty much like the Dwayne Casey, firing in Toronto when them 2 years back to back. He got fired after winning Coach of the Year. That wasn't his fault. It was LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Who they couldn't get past. And, you can't be mad at that. You can't say that this guy was doing a bad job because he couldn't beat one of the greatest players. You know what I'm saying? In the game, that just happens. You know what I'm saying? But um. Okay, so to look smart about this deal, that means that whoever is the coach next season is going to win the championship. That's just, I don't it ain't getting there. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Because what I mean, 2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remember, right? That's what they say. So if you gonna go out there and fire a coach you got to the Eastern Conference Finals with, that means that you're gonna get a coach that's gonna take you to the championship
Mhm.
and also win. Because is that all you want? That's all you wanted was a championship appearance. He got you to the Eastern Conference. You ain't been there since Pat Ewing and them. What's going on? Like I said, that just didn't make no sense to me. And I was looking up to see who's available. Now, he's going to be a sought after coach. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who else is going to need a coach or who else may want to change, but Mike Malone. Okay. Yeah, he's won a championship with Denver. You know what I'm saying? He's a great coach. No, I'm not putting him down and not saying that that's not an upgrade, what I'm saying, to who they had. But you're telling me, well, what New York is telling me that what's his name? Leon Rose, the guy over there, who does the business, the players, and all that. You're telling me that you're going to go get Mike Malone. That's if you get Mike Malone,
Yep.
and that you're going to win the NBA championship. Now, other than Mike Malone, the other coaches out there is Taylor Jenkins. He was a former coach of Memphis. Mike Brown, obviously former coach of Sacramento, Cleveland. Um, first time, and I hope he can get a job. Is Sam Cassell. He's they said his name is getting out there.
Mhm.
Frank Vogel again. James Borrego. You got Royal Ivy, who could be a
Okay.
possible first time coach. So with those names out there, man, like I said, of course, yes, Mike Malone, is the heavy hitter there. That's who you want to go after. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I tell Jenkins, Frank Vogel, because these guys coached before. You know what I mean? But again, Only thing that I wanted to do was just change his offensive philosophy with Jalen Brunson. They should have gave it another shot. You know what I'm saying? Another shot. And then you fire a man and you still own $30 million. Where does that make sense at?
Sign me up for that part. Believe, you gonna give me $30 million and you want to fire me? I mean, it sounds like a nice long vacation. But just to add to
Sounds
what
like he
Tone
hit the
said,
lottery.
Mhm.
right? Just to add to what Tone said, I'm in agreement with him. I still don't think like he should have got fired. I mean, look, like I think a lot of the issues and a lot of the things, besides obviously playing the starters with for a lot of minutes, but like who you gonna go to on the bench? I mean, they had what's the guy's name? Right, Donnell Wright, in the finals, like taking up minutes, and he didn't even play through the season. So it's one of them things where it's like, I don't even think he really had the personnel. Sometimes the best move is not making any moves at all. Where they traded for Cat, you had Julius Randle, you had DiVincenzo that you gave up in that deal, and they would have played valuable minutes for you. And I'm not saying Julius Randle is at the level of Cat, but I still think with what you had in DiVincenzo, where he came in and hit those couple threes when he was in the Minnesota series against OKC, would have been a lot more beneficial than just having Cat, because Cat was like, yeah, one or two good games during the finals, but it just didn't gel well together. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Where Julius Randle and DiVincenzo would have ate up minutes and stuff like that, and you wanted to give up those additional assets in addition to those players that they gave up. And then the whole Mikal Bridges trade with giving up all those picks is horrendous. You know what I mean? Like nobody's talking about it. This is someone that the name is recognizable, but he's not even an all-star. You know what I mean? So it's like one of them things where it's like, bro, I really think like they, just giving the GM a lot of leeway, or they already know the coach that they're gonna replace him with
Yep.
is my theory. Because there's no way, to Tone's point, someone gets 250 wins back-to-back seasons and makes the finals since Patrick Ewing and them and gets fired. You already have a handshake deal or an idea of whether it's Mike Malone or the dark horse. Don't count it out. I mean, you might get Coach Wright in there from Villanova. Like
Ooh.
that's not that can't be that cannot be like just not like even revisited with how many Villanova players they have, and then they're so concerned about these players nowadays being comfortable with the coach. Is like whoa, like no. But I heard Mike Malone does have ties in New York, so I think one of those two guys they already had a handshake deal and know that they can make an offer to and get that coach. Because I'm like, yo, you getting rid of Tibbs, knowing that he did all that for you, and to just replace someone like that, it's some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny you say that about Jay Wright. Because did you see that? Did you see that interview that he did when he was coaching Villanova? He was on a podcast and they asked him. He was like, "If you could coach in the NBA, which team would you want to coach?" And he was like, "The Knicks." He said the Knicks. But this is obviously years ago.
Right.
This was years ago because he was like, because he was like, but I'm not saying that because I love Villanova. I want to stay here. But he was like, if any team, he want to coach the Knicks now. Um, I don't know. I seen Taya put up that the quote or the comment about he barely played his bench. Tell me who you putting in off that bench. You know what I'm
That's what I'm
saying? Like,
saying. Donnell Wright had minutes. He just joined the
God,
team. Like
they
he
gave away all
didn't
their
have
picks.
anybody. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like I feel like, I feel like he didn't deserve. I feel like he deserved one more year to see where would it go, and then I feel like they were like 1 year too early with this firing. But if he would have gave you the same thing and not utilized the players, obviously we headed into the offseason. Let's see some of these key acquisitions that they make for the bench and solidify the bench a little bit more. And not only that, but have another year with being able to coach Brunson and Cat and get that offensive defensive scheme and, utilizing his players and all that stuff. But I don't know. I think they pulled the plug way too early on that one. Just 1 year too early. And they just trying to compensate for all these trades and they on a win now mode. But I really think they already got to figure it out who's going to replace him.
when you make a move like that, that's that severe, getting rid of your coach and you're that close to making it to the finals. Yeah, I would think that you have some kind of idea. They better have an idea. I mean, because this is the best the Knicks, has looked in forever. Like I've never seen, at least I do not remember the Knicks ever being this good since Patrick Ewing.
Yo,
That's
look at how they act when they
but
won just going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
yeah,
They was hanging on. They were wilding in New York, dog. They were wilding just for an Eastern Conference. You know how happy those dudes were, or that city was. Just because of that. Look at how Brooklyn Fresh was going all crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was hyped. You know what I mean? And as he should be. I'm not trying to play him or nothing like that. But it's just like you win it. You haven't seen Knicks fans this hyped in a long time.
right.
You know what I mean? In a long time. Um, like Joe said, man, it just might have been one season too early. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to get that. And now watch they get that team some decent bench players. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like I said, we don't know who the next coach going to be, but when that coach comes in, he's going to have a full 10-man rotation. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to try to, I told you Tibbs couldn't do it. Fooey. They probably won't even make the Eastern Conference Championship next year.
I forget who it was. They had Stephen A. brought it up too. He was like, he had the line of the year. Tibbs couldn't start 9 players on a baseball field. I was dying. I was like, yo, that is the line of the year. But I mean, it was only using 7. He used what he got because there wasn't no one there that could, take those minutes and be productive out there. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I mean, he's at home with $30 million. I'm not. I feel bad for him just a little bit. So
I
it's
bet you
like,
don't
man,
feel bad.
yeah,
No
I
catch
don't
for
feel
31 million.
bad. Yeah, 30 million. He's like, hey, I'm home. I'm home for the holidays.
Yeah, right, right. I'll do a couple appearances on ABC halftime reports.
And I'm pretty sure when we looked at that team, especially when you saw the starting lineup, it was like, yo, that Knicks starting line is really good. Like, but of course we're going by names. We're going by names, not fit, not camaraderie, not because they did it before. Can they go ahead and piece this thing together again? Not because of that, just because of straight names. And like Cat, does he fit in New York?
Now they was coming at him too. About his defensive lapses.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying throughout this series, and they was even saying players were talking about him. On the team of the defensive assignments he missed or he forgot or he lagged, and he didn't just give no explanation on. Yo, why you ain't hedge out on that screen? I don't know. What's the next play? Like what? like no, man. You know, Outside of coaching, man, the players have to play and they have to listen to these coaches. And Cat, he can give you 24 and 12 throughout the series,
Mm-hmm.
but if he's getting baked on defense or he's missing lapses, giving open wide open threes, going underneath the screen, acting like he's going to hedge out to the three, but then running back down so he can get a rebound, but you leave Tyrese open for a three. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much a coach could do, as far as that goes. Cat's a great player. I'm not, putting all the blame on him, man, but definitely was like Luca in the finals last year. You know what I'm saying? It was a defensive liability, at times. You know what I mean? So they got to, if they fix that, if he could fix that, man, come in better. But what was funny, man, shouts out to Gil's Arena, man, Gil with Arena podcast. They was talking about him. And they were saying that he said Cat built like a female.
A WNBA player. He has the hips of a
Yo, he said he
WNBA
got
player.
hips like a WNBA player. He got long legs, big feet. Yo, he said he just can't move like a guy, I guess. As far as like playing defense, yo, he said this dude is shaped like a female. I was cracking up, man. But yeah, man, if Cat can fix that, man, lose them hips, man. Like Shakira said, man, the hips don't lie, man. So he gotta fix them, Joe.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, man, Tibbs actually made the proper adjustments for Cat to succeed, and go on a little bit of run and stuff like that because they changed the whole lineup. Remember, you had Josh Hart starting, then they changed it to have Mitchell Robinson in there, and then that created a little bit more of a offensive game for Cat. Not from the defensive side that Tone pointed out, but he did start going off a little bit more on the offensive side once they did that lineup change, and that was Tibbs. You know what I mean? He's working with what he got.
Right.
And then they got a little bit of that energy boost with having Hart come off the bench. And I heard that was like a collective thing. But I mean, you only could do, what you got. Like, I mean, he didn't have much, honestly. And don't forget, these guys were already banged up as well. There was a little injured heading into the finals as well.
Yo, now all I'm gonna hear is that song for the rest of the night.
Shakira.
No lie. Yo, if we could close the show out with that song, dog, please put it on. Yo, I was cracking up, man. He said this boy
Wyclef
had.
John. You gonna be
This
singing the
said this boy
Wyclef John
had
part.
hips, yo. I said, dang, yo.
Hips don't lie. Oh God.
You know what I mean?
All right, so how you doing, Miss Jasmine? Thank you for thinking that we're funny. Don't crazy. It's don't lie. Okay, so here's the question, right? What's the right way of saying this? Because I don't want to put like odds in.
The
But
hips don't lie. That's the right way of saying it. I'll try to buy you some time so you remember what the hell you was going to say.
no. I'm trying to figure out the right way of saying this. Okay, I just put it like this. Okay, if you're the odds maker, Jay Wright, what's the chances of being the Knicks coach?
I'll say 10 to 20%. It's slow.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know.
if
I
his
think Mike
name,
Malone is the one.
Mike Malone?
if his name was in any of the other like vacancies in years prior, you know what I'm saying, or just maybe us hearing that he might be thinking about either coaching again or even coaching in the pros, then I would give that some entertainment. But I don't know about that because I haven't even with the interview I seen, you know what I'm saying, when he was at Villanova, I haven't really heard his name, being brought out as a coach. It's pretty much like we saying, like Mike Malone. He's probably the leading candidate for everybody. You know what I mean? For like I said, and I don't even know how many teams out there really need a coach right now.
Right.
Who's looking, for a coach. So, but nah, Mike Malone, I would say is the leading candidate if I had to pick somebody, and if I had to take a shot in the dark of who may be next, I may even go Mike Brown. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a established, coach. You know what I mean in the league that could probably do something with that team. I don't know how many shots you want to give Frank Vogel. Yeah, he's had plenty of runs with the team. Obviously, he won that bubble championship with the Lakers.
Right.
I don't
I think it's a good
know.
fit.
Huh?
I don't think Vogel's a good fit.
Yeah. I seen a fake video today when it was supposed to have been Doc Rivers, leaving Milwaukee uh, and making his way to New York because you talk about, Giannis about to get traded. Dame may not ever play again. He was like, I'm not staying here for this. So let me just go ahead over it. It was like an AI video, you know what I'm saying, of him. But yeah, I don't know, man. Mike Malone, I
Mike
would
Malone.
say.
All right.
Yeah.
I would actually think that. Well, I would actually want Sam Cassell to try to take it. I think it's his time. But like y'all said, you can't have a team that's that close to the finals, fire the coach, and bring in a first-time coach. You can't do it. You cannot do it.
There's no
So
way you can explain that. That's the thing. And then, after this decision happened, like they haven't even gotten in front of the mic or the front of the camera to even speak about this. It's more so they just put the presser out, let it rock out like that, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But it's already, to me, this is already decided. This is like the whole other side of, the corporate America and all this type of shit where you got pre-selection process, nepotism going on because, bro, there's no way you can tell me that they just fired this dude that got them to the finals, 50 wins back-to-back seasons, and then now you're like resetting the button with someone like, to your point, first-year coach. Like, there's no way. There's no way. They already know who it is. And if it is Jay Wright, that is crazy because then, you know what I mean? Obviously, these conversations was happening behind closed doors and stuff like that. And the same thing with Mike Malone. But at least with the Mike Malone thing, you can sell that to your fan base that he won with Jokic. He knows how, to run a championship team, and he has New York ties. So, there is something there. You know what I mean? So, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, and so I'm also thinking that obviously, like I said, they felt as though something needed to happen. Cool, all right. You know what I mean? You lose Eastern Conference Finals. Some shakeup may need to happen. Maybe it do, maybe it not. Right now, I don't know what the buzz was really in New York, obviously, because we're in Philly. But I don't know if they was just really, 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 coming at management. You know what I'm saying they did a horrible job, and then me thinking like, all right, well, did they try to like shift? you know, the attention like off of, them losing, and it's just like fire Tibbs, just fire Tibbs. Now that's all the talk is about. It ain't about them losing at the end anymore. The whole complex thing about it is, oh my God, they fired Tibbs. It's just like that's all everybody's talking about now. Like, so it's like we forgot that they lost the Eastern Conference Finals, that they had home court advantage, that they lost the first two games of the series. You know what I'm saying? That's what really, done them over. But now it's like, let's talk about this head coaching vacancy that they have to fill more than, you guys fell short. So, um, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe Tibbs lost the locker room. Hey, maybe he did. Maybe, I mean, but like I said, who gonna come in there? So like I said, the next coach got to come in there and get them to the finals and win it, losing the locker room or not. Like that's what you telling us. That's what you telling us. You know what I'm saying? This dude who been there for what, 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Turning that franchise around. You know what I'm saying? Just, hey, people got to pull up their britches, man. You know what I'm saying? Mikal Bridges, pull up your britches. You know what I'm saying? And want to get coached in this league, man. You know what I'm saying? They want to be, even on Gil's Arenas, to talk about him again, when they was both, him and Nick Young was in Washington, and, Tibbs was there on the coaching staff. And when he conducted a practice, um, they said Gil was like, nah, man, get this dude out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Get him out of here. He can't coach in this league. And Gil wasn't even playing. He was injured at the time, but he was just saying how he constructed and ran a practice. He was just like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I guess like you said, guys old school, you know what I'm saying? And these dudes want a lollipop ass practice, you know what I'm saying? And that's the results you're gonna get when you want a lollipop practice. So I don't know, man. Maybe these guys just didn't like, his coaching style. If they got rid of him for the players, so be it. But like I said, the next guy who comes in got to win them a championship. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And like you said, Tom, man, I mean, look, it's a shame. It's 1 year. Look, he gearing up for that song. I heard it. He gearing up. You gonna get hit with copyright, bro. Yo, shut it down. Yo, but the real reason why they lost is the players, man. I mean, they traded for OG, they traded for Cat, they traded for Miles, for Bridges, and what they known for, defense. They was getting cooked the whole damn series. So you got OG and Bridges. That they came here, defensive specialists, 3-and-D guys, all that shit, whatever, blah blah blah. They ain't do none of that. They fell short, and then not to mention Cat missing all those free throws as well. So it's like, yo, but you fired a coach when he literally had 7 to 8 put in right in. It's like, bro, come on, stop playing. But turn up, drop the intro now.
Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that,
make a woman go mad.
Yeah, that was on tune.
Yo, I was
Yeah,
cracking up when they came at his
you know
hip,
the
yo.
first lady over there, like, Ty turned it up right there.
Oh,
Yo.
if Cat was to ever see this pod, man, he'd be like, "Oh my god!"
After all that,
After all that, oh my god!
yo, that boy, he got like 18 different voices, yo. Like he talks sassy. He had like he from the suburbs, and he tried to talk like he from the hood. Like I don't know what's up with that, but then he tried to have a New York accent throughout the season, talking about going to the bodega and all that. Get out of here, man. After all that, that's the funniest. That's the funniest sound drop with him, yo.
Hold on, here we go. Here's a little bit of confirmation, Joel.
Definitely was moving.
I already
Definitely
know.
was moving.
Yeah, after the Eagles won, you already know. Hold on a second. Hey, put this on. Come here. The Grant is here.
Yo, what's up?
Congrats,
I
X.
gave you a shout
Congrats,
out
boy.
on the pod. Look,
Yo,
Yo,
what's going on?
congratulations
brother?
to you, kid.
you still my little baby boy, 18.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
all good.
right.
All right, get out of here, bro.
That's what's up.
all right. So, all right. So we're gonna shut this portion of this conversation down. Wow, we almost done the pod. Actually, we had 52 minutes, but I just want to no, subject wise, just want to touch on. Did y'all see the Phil's game from the other day? Bryce Harper first game back.
Yeah, man. That actually, he was contagious, obviously, to the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, as well too. They even started out, the game 6 runs in the first inning. So
Yeah.
they set the tone right then and there, man. You know what I'm saying? Trey Day, with 2 shots yesterday.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you with an MVP, presence in the dugout, in the lineup, and then he following the lead after Trey, do his thing, man. It was a great thing to see, man. So, obviously keep his ball rolling, what I'm saying? They're in a little tough one, right now. And earlier in the show, if you heard me say something, Cap, I
Yeah.
seen your face. I seen it was we almost gave up, what I'm saying, a nice little couple runs, what I'm saying. But they withstood that little stand by Toronto. It still is 1-1, what I'm saying, bottom of the eighth. But yeah, man, what I mean, great to see him back in the lineup, man. Like I said, contagious. The bats were swinging, man. So hopefully, what I'm saying, they come out on top again today.
Absolutely. That was on a 4-game losing streak. And before that game started. And Bryce Harper, first game back, first at bat, home run. Bam. And you're right. I mean, look, we like to take, I guess we don't really, consider all that much the importance of having, your leader with you. You know what I mean? The significance of having your leader that's there. And I mean, clearly, Bryce Harper is the leader of that team. As you got a lot of boppers on that team, but yet they couldn't do anything for 4 games. You know what I mean? And last year, when they had that drought, is when Harper was hurt. So, you really see the importance of Bryce Harper being back. You could definitely see it. You could definitely see it.
Right, and that's the exact difference of having Bryce Harper and someone like Embiid, because of the fact that Harper can come back, hold his team accountable, just his presence alone. Everyone knows they were like, yo, Bryce, 3 is back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you got someone like Embiid that'll come back and they're like, bro, like I already know what you do off the court, not showing up to practice or, being real lax and all that stuff. And then now you want to come on the floor and someone like Kelly Oubre, that's why they had that falling out. Someone that if Bryce Harper approached one of the other Philly players like Embiid did to Oubre, like you wouldn't have that because you know he's putting in that work behind the scenes.
Yep.
Just got hit on his elbow, comes back, sets the tone, first at bat, out of the park. Now you like, yeah, all right, now it's game time. Let's step it up. I just got hit. I just came back 4 game, like losing streak.
No
Let's get
excuse.
it. You know what I mean? So it's one of them things, and it just shows you the difference of the level of the leadership. When you got someone like Bryce Harper that is doing everything right, the right way, and being there for his team, where Embiid, like doesn't have that respect on his own team. With someone, like that Oubre situation.
Look, we already know the real leader of that team is going to be Maxey. That's the real leader of that team. Because also, too, you also see the work that he put in during the off season as well. Like, I think he's going to be a monster next year, an absolute monster.
Right, and he was one of the ones that was rumored to, call him up. You know what I mean? During the season. So, yeah, definitely Maxey is headed in that direction.
All right, well, that's that. Last thing that we want to discuss. Oh, I'm sorry, Tone. There was something else that you wanted to mention before we get ready to shut this thing down. Go ahead, man. The whole thing is on you.
Whoa, I don't want all that on me. Not this part of the segment.
Pause.
But
yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm just gonna give you the
That's Tone's topic. I don't know what he's talking about.
hold on. Let's say we can make some arrangements. Put Tone there.
All right, so those of y'all who didn't hear, at least 15 former Indiana University men's basketball players are alleging improper sexual conduct by a former team physician and saying Indiana officials, including the late coach Bobby Knight, were aware of the behavior. Since two former Hoosiers sued the university last fall, five ex-athletes are now named in the lawsuit, and 10 additional men are planning to pursue litigation against Indiana, their attorney, Michelle Simpson, told ESPN. Even though their legal path grew more difficult with the death of the doctor, and his name is Bradford Bomba, last month he passed away, and the release of the investigation that cleared him of sexual misconduct, but the men say they are driven to share their stories in part to protect others from such behavior. They said players alleged that they complained about the exams, and some said they asked to see a different physician. But they said Coach Knight and the head athletic trainer, Tim Garl, ordered players to see Bomba regardless. Guess he was giving them money to do whatever it was he was doing.
Jeez.
Bush Carter, who played at Indiana in the late 70s, went on to coach in the NBA. He wrote a letter included in the lawsuit that he told Knight he never wanted to see Bomba again for medical care, and that he complained multiple times to Knight and about the doctor's abusive behavior during the examinations. Carter is not a plaintiff, but gave a sworn testament describing his own interactions with Bomba. They said in the lawsuit and in interviews, the men say Bomba, who worked as Indiana men's basketball team physician for nearly 30 years up until the late 90s, routinely gave male athletes rectal exams during physicals, even though medical guidelines did not recommend for college-age men to go through that procedure. The lawsuit claims the behavior amounted to sexual misconduct, and a university officials were aware of the issue, like I said, including Knight, who passed away in 2023, but they failed to stop it. A representative for Bomba's family did not respond to ESPN for comment. Crazy, 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 man. I played college ball, man. And yeah, we had to take physicals, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, the prostate exam was not on the list. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, young college, male, athletes, man. I don't know how we got to that part. Like, it wouldn't even have took Coach Knight and the rest of the training staff to tell me to keep going to butt plug ball. No, no. I'd have been the first player that got kicked off the team for beating up the team physician. And they'd have been like, damn, Tone, why'd you do that? I don't know, this boy wanted to go deep sea fish diving. I don't know what's going on with this ball. You know what I'm saying? But he caught a, you know what I'm saying? No, no, sir. No, sir, we're not doing that, man. It's not back there tickling. What you doing that for? What that got to do with my 3-point jump shot or my free throw percentage? You tickling the anus. What's up? Yo, man. That's a crazy, crazy lawsuit, man. The ball passed away, so it ain't nothing they could do to him, you know what I'm saying? But I'll go dig him up, smack him a couple times, and then bury his ass back again, man. That shit crazy, dog.
Bro, that story when he sent it over, I looked at it, I said, "Whoa, he talking about this tonight." when like the part he said, he's like he conducted unnecessary medically procedures involving the rectal and freaking and also hernia. Like that's what he was doing. But I guess Coach Knight said, "Look, man, they're a little tight. We gotta loosen these guys up. Send them over. Send them over, Coach. I got you.
I know the remedy. I know the
I
perfect.
know the remedy. They're gonna be real quiet and loose. I'll tell
You're
you
right.
that much.
He gonna be like, "Oh, I'll put a finger on it." Like what? Like, come on, my man.
I can't put my finger on what's the problem. Maybe I need two. What the hell, bro?
Yo,
Yeah, but look, like all jokes aside, though, with it being Men's Health Month and awareness, bro,
Yeah,
I know these guys is going through some real problems right now. Those 15 plus, man, because I know it's probably more behind the scenes, but I mean, all jokes aside, man, like this is even crazy to even think that shit is still going on. You know,
right.
it's bringing back them Sandusky vibes. But man, hopefully they cash in because I know they are looking for that monetary, cash out with the lawsuits.
Well, it's crazy because once again, just like you said, Joel, it's a wild story. Everything we're hearing about is crazy. I mean, I heard about it, but I didn't go in depth, pause, with the story. I wanted the story to be kind of like fresh to hear from Tone tonight, so I didn't want to read any more into it. Not just the physical, like abuse that's done, that mental abuse too, man. You know what I mean? Like it's either one or two things happen. Either you have, players that wanted to go to the doctor more often, or you have players that was hurt and would never say it because they knew they didn't want to go back to that doctor. Either one.
Well, not only that, you got some of these guys that's thinking probably like, shit, yeah, must be normal procedure, and they're
Right.
on a scholarship, they
That's
don't want to
crazy.
lose their scholarship, and they want to play on the team and stuff like that. So they just kind of like not saying anything. You know what I mean? Versus nowadays, that's another prior reason why these NIL deals are probably a little bit better for these guys and they're making money because now, all these guys that obviously are being mentioned aren't in the NBA or probably didn't play in the NBA and didn't get an opportunity to make money, and they could probably even say in their lawsuit, they had that mental block, from moving forward in life, with the whole situation and stuff like that. But it's sad as shit that happened, bro.
Yo, we want to go serious and then tire.
the hips don't lie. Yeah,
Yeah, the hips wasn't lying for the doc either.
yeah, right.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like to think that you're on the basketball team. Like I said, you're going to go get a physical, and then that happens. That's like if
Trying to do the
you know
right.
what I'm saying. You go get a new job, and you know what I'm saying. They tell you, you know what I'm saying, you gotta go get a physical, or you know what I'm saying, you do this to perform the job to in the interviewing process, and you walk. Imagine walking into you know what I'm saying, the doctor at the new job that you're gonna do because you gotta take a physical, and that boy be like, all right, yo, hey Tone, get up on the table, sir. And I say, you want this new job? He hit you with the glove like Pat.
How do
I'm
you
like,
pull that
nah,
glove
man.
out of? He came out like Michael would. Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine stepping up in a job interview. You know what I'm saying? I just got hired at Indiana as a new doc of that joint. So I told him I bring my own equipment. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
that's
no,
the thing
though,
too,
man.
because obviously doesn't the doc have to clear you for your physical so you can play? So he like, hey man, you really want to play?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is. I'll give you a good report with this one, but I'll give you an even better one.
Better.
Like, what kind of leverage does Duck had on
You're
these
like,
guys?
this will get
Hanging
you
that
in the
shit
first
over their
half,
head.
and this
Yeah,
will play you the whole
yeah.
game. This will
Right.
get you'll never get taken out for the whole season. This one you'll get the whole get coaches.
Oh my God.
Yo,
See
this
what happens when we go over an hour, bro. It starts to get crazy.
yo, they was out there fisting the basketball players, man. What's going on in Indiana, man? What's going on in Indiana, man?
Look, okay, serious for a second. This definitely hurts the legacy of Bobby Knight.
Yeah, after all
I
the
mean,
winning, even with the scandals that he was already, you know what I'm
right.
saying? And, you know, he was
His
choking
name was
players
tarnished.
and all that. Yeah.
That's what Sandusky did to Paterno, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They just,
Yep.
it's weird that these guys don't say nothing, though. Like, bro, like, if I had a doctor like that and I'm the coach, I'm like, bro, what are you doing, my guy? Like, what the hell? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Oh,
like I couldn't imagine, you
I
know,
said cough,
like
cough, hold.
yeah, I've never played for a basketball team and I had to do that, man. Like I said, I don't know
I
what
don't
we
know. You
getting
moved
at.
that glove real quick out of nowhere. So like, yeah.
Hey,
That's crazy though. Like, why none of these players like really just didn't like bring that up? Like, bro, like, yo, did you have to do this, bro? Like, on the bench and shit.
yeah, it's definitely,
They
man. You
probably
think
wasn't
about
sitting on the bench though. They probably was still
they were
standing.
standing up. They were standing up. They was in the hallway. Like, oh man, I can't
Yeah,
even sit down.
that's
But I
some
don't know.
weird
It just
shit, bro.
it makes you wonder though, man. You know what I'm saying? This stuff happened obviously, like you said, the '90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, how come this stuff be so hush hush? You know what I mean? Throughout the years, like you don't hear. I'm done with Tom. Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. Like I said, how these stories, man, just be so hush hush, man. You know what I'm saying? If these kind of things, man, been happening or happen, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they had to stay quiet because of the lawsuit, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, man. But these type of things should have been put on, you know what I'm saying, on the spectrum for us to hear, you know what I'm saying? Or not even just us, just, what I mean, people, period, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff shouldn't be going on, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who else they would have had to report to. You know what I mean? Because they, like I said, they brought it to Coach Knight, they brought it to the, the other coaching staff, and they just didn't. They act like they didn't care. Like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like so, one of the players gave a statement and was saying that he has a son his age who plays, and he was just like, man, when you young and you think you're a man, or you're a young man and that you can handle things. And he was just like, man, back then he was just like, I didn't realize that I didn't, what I'm saying, I wasn't a man, or I wasn't, what I'm saying, strong enough to go through something like that. And he was like, I look at my son now, like this kid not built, what I'm saying, for that. So he was just like, man, that's why he want to come out with the story, and letting people make it known, aware to what's going on, what I'm saying, because these things should be happening, man, and you just never know who can get broken, what I'm saying, by something like this, you know what I mean? So, great for those guys that, man, like I said, make it aware, what I'm saying, to put awareness out there for a situation like this. And it's messed up that this is coming out during a men's health month, what I'm saying, where, what I'm saying, we should be sitting back, really, thinking about ourselves, taking care of ourselves, man. It's just like we want to make a point with that, man. Men, what I'm saying, go out there, take time for yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go get the pups done, man. Go get a massage. You know what I'm saying? Do a self care day. It ain't just for no women. You know what I'm saying? Like we men, they say we got to be the strong one. We got to, what I mean, hold down the fort. But if you ain't good to yourself, you can't be good to nobody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So take care of yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? For first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? So you could be that leading example, that better man, that better person, that better father, that better friend, that better cousin, that better sibling, that better person in life. You know what I'm saying, man?
Right.
Take care of yourself first, man. And what I mean, it sucks that them guys going through it. Yeah, we joking about it, you know what I'm saying? But it's a real serious situation, you know what I'm saying? That I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go through it. I would want my son to go through it, and
Right.
anybody else, you know what I'm saying, out there to go through it, man. So shouts out to them guys, man, for putting that story out there.
Absolutely. Believe in night, sacrifice, and done rituals with degrading men. Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. And here's the thing, in all honesty, two things that kind of came to mind about this. One, you know how many young men went to that school because of Bobby Knight, and Bobby Knight didn't protect them? You know what I mean? Like Bobby Knight was that coach. He was that coach back then. I mean, it's like these young men went to that school because of that coach, trusted that coach, and that coach did not protect them.
Not only that, imagine that dude sitting in your living room trying to recruit your son to go play for his college ball. And then now you get this news. You're like, oh my God, that dude was sitting on my couch asking me, to to ask my son to come play for his team and all that stuff. You just start peeling that onion back, and it gets worse and
Worse and
worse and
worse.
worse.
Yeah. And we already know that the story, like this is just the surface stories that we're getting. As a whole, chances are the story's a whole lot worse. And there's a whole lot more stories just like this one too. It just happened to be that this is the one that actually came out, pause, in this type of situation. You know what I mean? Like we already know it's probably a whole bunch of other schools that's going through the same exact thing. It would not surprise me if we hear more stories like this coming out within the next year. But like I said, it's sad, which is important for us to go ahead and really mention this again. June is Men's Health Month. Now, like we already said, kind of was joking about it in the beginning, but this is a time, in all honesty, for you to really be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. Honestly, when was the last time, and I'm just talking in general, when was the last time you went and got checked? When is the last time you actually said, you know what, I'm not feeling well right now. Let me go and see what's going on. When was the last time you said, you know what, I used to be able to do this, but I can't do this no more. And I don't know why. When was the last time you got that looked at? Let's go a little deeper. When was the last time you really thought about your mentals and was able to like go back? It's like, you know what, I need help. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the strongest thing that we can do as men is admit that we need help with something. You know what I mean? So this month all by itself, this should be something that we should be doing every single month. In all honesty, it shouldn't just be in June. But this month, we definitely need to go ahead and just advise y'all guys and push forward with y'all guys to like, look, it's all right to ask for help. It's all right to look for help, seek help. And it's all right to just say, like, you know what, I need to go ahead and just take a step back so I can go ahead and get myself together. It's all right. Take a vacation. You know what I mean? Go away. See something different. Just so you can get yourself mentally right, just so you can get your body right. This month is the reminder month for us to be able to go ahead and talk to each other realistically that we need to take care of each other. You know what I mean?
Just as long as Bomba's not your doctor. I had to lighten it up. I'm sorry. I had to lighten it up.
So there you go. That's it. Let's get ready to go ahead and shut this thing down officially. Joel, Bird Gang, Vacation Man, what you got to say, brother?
Hey, look, man, just like you said, men's health. Look, one of the things that I've been doing a little over a year, approaching 2 years, coming October, November, in that time frame, is I joined the gym. And honestly, it's something that I've, been doing for, again, a little over a year and a half. And I go to the Fitness Ethic, my man Gio over there, G. He's the man. Look, man, like he got me right. And look, just like Cap said, just check on yourself as far as from your health standpoint, from your mental standpoint. That's something, just a little advice that I have, something that I do that's helped me get through a lot of things. And it was the perfect timing for me, with the rough year that I had with a few people that were close to me that passed and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways that I've been able to conquer that. And, from a mental standpoint. But look, man, again, just like we always say, be sure to comment, subscribe, share the content, and give us feedback on what you guys think about GNT Sports Talk. You already know, Bird Gang, checking out.
Yo, so definitely thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Just piggyback off of Joel, man. You know what I'm saying? Because what they say, health is wealth, right? Um, So that's one of the definitely, big things that you need to, focus on, within yourself. Us men, like I said, being the leaders of your family, of your home, what I'm saying, being that number one, what I'm saying, guy that people look up to, what I'm saying, whether it's your child, your nephew, cousin, whoever, what I'm saying, just be that good example, man. So be good to yourself so you can be good to others. Take care of yourself. What I mean? All of us out here, us men, man, we're built to, what I'm saying, have this strong physique, or what I'm saying, shelling all your problems or your feelings inside. What I'm saying, they don't want, what I mean, and to be emotional. 'Cause they might look at you to be sassy, or what I'm saying, this and that and the third. But hey, man, we human. We got feelings. What I'm saying, and what I mean, when those feelings get a little shaken up, what I'm saying, you gotta wear that. What I'm saying, so. What I mean? Don't be afraid to express them emotions, man. What I'm saying? Leaving things bottled up, because then when it's time to really, what I'm saying, get at something, you're going to explode. You know what I mean? And that ain't the way to, what I'm saying, attack anything, man. So, what I mean? We just got to sit back, and take care of ourselves, man. And, what I mean? Like Kev said, just make sure you really, 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 what I'm saying, take care of yourself. Think about yourself, what I'm saying? So you can think about others, what I'm saying? And be that guy, be that leading role, in people's lives, man. So thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of GNT Sports Talk. You know, each and every week we're on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Like Joel said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I mean? We do this every Wednesday, man. So definitely tap in, man. And again, I'm the promoter, and I run a show called Laugh the Pain Away. It's every third Friday of the month. We got our Father's Day edition, coming up on Friday, June 20th. Dope lineup, man. I mean? Y'all see the flyer right there, man. So follow me on Instagram. Go grab them tickets. Still have some available. Free wine, 5901 Umbria Street at Heroes Mark. Heroes Mark Enterprise. That's the name of the venue. Is in Manayunk. So come out, support your boy, man. It's a good thing we got going on down there. Last couple shows been rocking. So y'all won't be disappointed, what I'm saying, on that. Come down, have a glass of wine with your boy, enjoy laughter, poetry, what I'm saying, and the rest of the gang, man. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in to GNT Sports Talk. Let's get it.
Hey. Oh, look at the young man right there. Happy birthday, bro.
He said happy birthday. Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Man,
welcome.
Spidey.
Birthday.
Yes, sir.
I love it. That's what it's about. It's about family. And that's the one thing I definitely want to go ahead and mention in the beginning, especially with the beginning of this month being what this month is for men and men's health. Joel, thank you for being a good example of what a family man would be. And not just that, but welcoming us into your family. It's going to show that you don't have to just be blood in order for you to be family. And you definitely show that with us. Like, we became tighter as a crew because of the fact that how welcoming you were to us being part of your family. So we want to thank you. At least I want to thank you personally for that.
I got room for improvement, but
we all do.
I know where my loyalty lays at. With my kids and the grandpup here. He carries.
Absolutely. But for everyone that's watching, to everyone that's at home, everybody who's on Instagram, we want to thank every single one of y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for giving us your point of view and what y'all think. And you know what? Thank you for laughing with us too, because laughter makes everything better. So we appreciate every single one of y'all with y'all laughter, with y'all point of views. Like they said, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And before we leave out, we have one more things to kind of do and kind of show y'all.
So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight, my
We out.
don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. All the attraction, the tension. Don't you see, baby, this is